Hello, welcome to Anatomy and Physiology. My name is Nicole Fotiades, and I'm looking forward to talking to you a little bit about the course that your children are taking this semester. So, a little bit about myself. This is my 13th year at Summit High School. I teach AP Biology and Exercise Science, Anatomy and Physiology, and Environmental Science. So, I teach a lot of the life science electives, which I really enjoy. I live in Summit and I attended both the middle school and the high school, so I'm pretty familiar with the Summit culture and community. I graduated from Muhlenberg College with a bachelor's in biology, and I have two masters in education. And, I didn't always want to be a teacher. When I graduated from college, I thought I was going to go off to vet school. And I ended up working in some different laboratories for a few years. And I always like to share this with my students just to let them know that, it is okay to change their mind depending, and that there are many different options for fields of study that they could go into that deals with health science and not necessarily a doctor or a nurse. So I worked in a necropsy lab for a pharmaceutical company where we tested drugs on animals, and then we would open the animals up to see how the drugs affected their tissues. So obviously, this is really important to talk about with them now because of all of the different drug testing and how it happens and things like that, just to understand that process. So, anatomy and physiology, we study the structures of certain body systems and how they function. And the exercise science class goes very well with anatomy and physiology because it's sort of like the second half of anatomy. And I'll get to the different body systems that we cover here in just a second. So a lot of the students that come into the classroom, they are interested in health science, but they don't have to be. It's my job to expose them to all of the possibilities, to show them that it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be a doctor, because I know a lot of them are scared away from that type of career. So it's really just to get them to enjoy the class, to learn a little bit about their bodies, and to understand how their bodies work and what happens when certain systems or organs fail. So we always talk about diseases when we discuss each body system. We discuss how those diseases are diagnosed, how they're treated, how they could be avoided potentially, and then finally, how to advocate for themselves as a patient. And I think that this is really important for them to know, to understand what the doctor is saying when they're talking to the doctor, to know what kinds of questions to ask so that they can make the appropriate decisions, or they can be involved in that decision. So I am the only teacher of this course. I developed this course and the exercise science course, so we can really make it whatever we want to make it. If the kids have certain questions or interests, we can veer off topic a little bit and discuss that stuff, because there's not an exam that they have to take at the end, or someplace that we have to be by the end of the semester. So some of the systems that we will cover in anatomy and physiology, we just finished our directional terminology. So they learned a lot of the terms that they probably have heard before if they watch doctor shows or, surgeries, and they were able to apply this to real life. I'll show you something that they created in just a second that helped them learn those terms. We're moving on to the integumentary system, or the skin, and then we will do the blood and circulatory system. They'll have an option to do a take-home blood typing kit, of course, with approval from you, so that they can test their blood type. We then move into the urinary system, and we look at the kidney, and they will do a kidney dissection if they'd like. I never force dissections. They have the option to do virtual dissections, and we do that of a sheep's kidney. And then we'll move to the immune system, which is a big topic now with disease and vaccination. And then finally, the endocrine system with hormones and the nervous system. In terms of the other systems, that's what we cover in exercise science. So the muscular, the skeletal, the digestive system, that's all covered in that class, which I know some of your children are taking. So this is just a little insight into what we do in the class. We actually just finished these cardboard people, or anatomically correct people. They had a lot of fun with that, as you can see. And it was a way for them to learn the directional terminology and to actually put features on their cardboard people based on the directional terminology. We're moving into the skin next, and we're going to talk all about different types of wounds, how they occur, what the healing process is, and to make this a little bit more fun, I actually bring in a bunch of material and they will create their wound, whether it's a laceration or a burn. And then we're going to create these tissue boxes, which will help them understand the structure of the skin. So we have a lot of fun in this class. We do a lot of hands-on activities, and I think the kids really enjoy it and get a lot out of it. And so this is just a list of some of the things that we will do. You'll see in there that there are dissections. Again, it's not something that I force upon kids, but if they are interested, they certainly can participate. And I'm working on a field trip to the Liberty Science Center where we have the option to view a surgery. It's either pre-recorded or it's done live and we watch it through video, and the doctor will actually interact with the students while they're performing the surgery. And I'm looking into doing a kidney transplant surgery. Those are typically pre-recorded, but the doctor actually comes in that day so that they can talk to the kids about the surgery, walk through the process, and answer questions. So that is in the works. So finally, my goals for this class, I want the kids to leave with an understanding of their own bodies so that they can be an educated young adult going off to college to advocate for themselves in a doctor's office so that they understand how their body systems work and how to take care of their body and how to pay attention to those tiny little signals that might indicate disease or injury. Obviously, I want to expose them to the different careers in the medical field and then, foster a love for science. And it really doesn't get any more applicable than this. It's all about them, which is why I think a lot of them leave the course loving it because they like to talk about themselves and learn about themselves. So here's the grading policy. There are tests and quizzes in the class, and they do have tons of projects to help with that quiz or test grade. And then they don't typically get homework in the elective, but sometimes I might assign a long-term assignment that will go into their homework grade. My website is here if you wanted to write it down, but most of the time I am using Google Classroom to post assignments and videos. If they're absent, they always know to check Google Classroom. And it was, nice speaking to you tonight. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thank you.